In 1975, French-Canadian chamber jazz rock band Maneige released their second album, Les Porches, on Harvest, and from it, the track Les Adventures de Saxinette et Clarophone. Les Adventures de Saxinette et Clarophone by Maneige, French-Canadian chamber jazz rock band, giving us quite a few movements here over 15 minutes and 40 seconds. Seems to be divided into 3 chapters, with chapters 1 and 2 subdivided. But here are the notes that I took amid all that action. It began with this glowing Fender Rhodes, giving us these sustained tones. At first, this upward glissando, and then settling into these light vibe-like tones, with some touches of real vibraphone coming through in the background. And that for about a minute, and then this spaghetti western percussion entered. A few interactive elements there. I was thinking of Audio A Cheyenne by Ennio Morricone during that one percussive moment, like 1 minute into this track. Yeah, it seemed to have borrowed the rhythmic element from that. And also there was like this high guitar tone, kind of vibrato-y, that reminded me of Sleepwalk by Santo and Johnny. Yeah. And then this percussive spray came amid this flowering full band onslaught. And like everything commenced around these like rising, falling thirds, I believe, in this loose framework of G. Yeah, and then this clarinet solo emerged, and then brought us to our first standstill. And then this silence preceded this new movement, where this kind of tight, enveloped piano figure just suddenly popped up out of nowhere, overlaid with this solo-y xylophone, really crisp solo-y xylophone. Yeah, bringing the band really out of their more mannered state, which had tended to dominate more in the first album. And then the clarinet solo kind of persevered in this like 3+3+2 type of meter. It was basically in 4/4, but I was hearing kind of like this, kind of like 1-2-3, 1-2-3, 1-2 over it, over the fours. Yeah, bass piano ostinato. And then at 6:20, a more voluminous stretch over a descending chordal pattern. And then things around 7 scaled back to the bass piano ostinato, this time for a glowing vibraphone solo. And that carried on amid rising percussive density. And then this decisive guitar figure started like poking in at around 8:20 to precipitate the final notes of the movement. And then at the 9-minute mark, this new figure began with, I think, what was like cow sounds. Yeah, this mooing sound. And then this like 4/4 sax riff in D took hold. And then broke for some more like solo-y, like xylophone clarinet interaction. And as it went on, the clarinet kind of got swallowed by these crowd noises, which kind of dominated in like the 11-minute range of the track. And then at 12, I guess, entering our 4th distinct movement here, this searing feedback drone went on for about 30 seconds. And then suddenly more solo-y xylophone runs, interacting with the clarinet, which reasserted itself over this tight new trebly bass ostinato, which came in at like the 13-minute mark, broken up with some jerky chordal breaks between clarinet and vibraphone, and then a restatement of the ostinato, and then finally like this full kind of woodwind ensemblic interaction took hold, leading us out to our final moments of the piece. Yeah. Les Adventures de Saxinette et Clarophone, like, or you could say the adventures of saxophone and clarinet. Or, although I was hearing a lot of mallet on that, like xylophone and vibraphone. And let's see, credited on this album, Jérôme Langlois, clarinet, piano, electric guitar, and arranger of strings. Gilles Schetagne, drums, percussion. Yves Léonard, electric bass and double bass. Alain Bergeron, flute, saxophone, piano. Vincent Langlois, piano, percussion. Yeah, it looks like we have some brothers in this band. And several people credited here on violin. Yeah. And anyway, yeah, Maneige would release 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 studio albums, or 7, yeah, 7 studio albums between 1975 and 1983. And again, even more solo-y on their next one, the 1977 release Nine Nouvelle, which had a lot of those like quirky, kind of twitchy xylophone type passages, the tracks, yeah. And this track, on this second album, Les Porches, this track we just heard isn't the only big epic. There's an even longer track on the other side. Yeah, Les Porches de Notre Dame. Yeah, could be a subject for another installment. But until then, yeah, one of the more quirky acts to emerge from the French scene of the 70s. Another band from the Quebec scene that had a very high emphasis on mallets was the band Etc., who've often been compared to like mid-period, the quirkier aspects of mid-period Gentle Giant. I profiled them last year. For more rubies and sapphires from the catalog of Maneige and other French-Canadian artists from this time period, see the directory of albums from Quebec, linked in the description below. Like and subscribe, follow me on social media, share the video, leave a comment if there are any observations you have about the big long track we just heard, the movements, the arrangements, the interaction, the composition as a whole, the different solos and like interlocking bits and pieces. Yeah, what was your favorite movement? And until next time, this is Zaragon, the world's most ear trouble Tremaximist, signing off.